Pete, can we do your interview now?
Is this the three old guys jealous of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney doc? Yeah, I guess.
I'm Kevin Day, and today on the Price of Football podcast, the show that looks at the money behind the beautiful game, American invasion or infestation.
Hi, I'm Rob Couey. I'm a 74-year-old lawyer.
Wycombe Wanderers, bought by Rob Couhig. Interesting town, interesting club, and he's had some great ideas, but God love him, I bet he gets called the ugly Yank at least 15 times a day.
You want to see fireworks, guys? You need goals, is what the answer is.
Well, yeah, you need goals, but they're not mutually inconsistent.
Absolutely wrong, Rob.
I'm Simon Hallett, I'm 68 years old, and I'm chairman of Plymouth Argyle Football Club. I've been here 33 years in the United States. I made my money helping to run an investment firm in New Jersey. A few years ago, I decided that I'd like to get involved with my boyhood football club. They were recovering from financial difficulties. I happened to have some money.
Simon Hallett at least sounds like an Englishman. Plymouth Argyle, big club, big crowds. The only problem is Plymouth is about as close to London as London is to the sun.
Nigel Travis, age 74, chairman, Leyton Orient Football Club.
To be fair, Nigel's done some great things at Orient already, but Brisbane Road isn't exactly the new stadium at Tottenham.
To be honest, to buy a football club you have to be slightly insane, so I'm probably insane.
We all took this crazy plunge to be the caretaker of something that means so much for so many. Frankly, I didn't realize how much it meant to so many people.
I'm not very good at carrying cash around, but I think I'd be willing to take out $5 for who finishes the highest in the league this year.
I'm in, Nigel. $5 is a lot of money, but I think it shows that it's not really about the money, it's about the winning, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be a nice decoration for my study because I'm going to put it on my wall.
Well, you're going to be waiting a long time because you're going to finish bottom based on where we are right now.
I get a kick out of Nigel. I have a little internal bet as to how long it takes him before he mentions that he's the former CEO of Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm pretty confident that we'll do okay this year, but what we really want to do is beat Rob Couhig.
Simon's got a lot of money. Nigel, of course, talks like he's got a lot of money. And me, I could use the $5. That to me has been the thing that has shocked me probably the most of ownership, is the need to have that relationship with the manager and what a one-way street it turns out to be. My manager had been there for 10 years, was literally a legend. I gave him an extension on his contract and said, basically, you're here, doesn't matter if we're relegated. Famously quoted as saying you can lose 10 straight games, it doesn't matter. And when QPR came knocking, he called me up and said, well, I think I want to go. But that's the one thing that has shocked me, is the fans believing that the manager is the all-important guy. It's like he kicks the goals, he defends the goals, he does everything. And I got to tell you, I'm not convinced that they make as much difference as the public thinks.
I had a pretty good relationship with our manager, and as you know, I'm very much non-executive. It's the first time I've had a strong relationship with a manager. But as you say, in fact, I had a couple of beers with him on the Wednesday before he decided to leave. As Gordon Gekko famously once said, if you want to have a friend, you should get a dog.
Right.
Don't think you're going to be friends with your manager.
Just for the record, I probably do hold a record amongst the three of us because we brought a manager in from a Premier League club and he lasted 29 days before we decided the fit was very bad and he left. So sometimes you have to own up to your mistakes.
As we look at it, goalkeeper Southwood clears long early doors, goes straight down that left-hand side.
Well, look, I've been a fan of this club since like the 1980s, when we played in the town centre on a hill. I was working for the BBC as a local journalist
covering this club and the local news area. So a man from New Orleans trying to buy this football club is newsworthy. Football fans are quite cynical. I count myself as one of them. I was like, what the hell does this guy want? And the big question for me and the big question for everybody back then was still, why do you want to buy a football club? Why do you want to buy Wycombe Wanderers? And to be honest with you, I still don't think I can answer that today. But we speak now a few years down the track where we've had the most incredible journey, and the fact that we still can't answer that is quite eliminating, I think.
We all stand together.
I come over here, and as you know, I wanted to build the crowds here. I thought that was going to be sort of my special thing.
The American dream.
The American dream. And I find that some of the things I like to do, the fireworks, fall on deaf ears. You ever heard of a guy by the name of Bill Veeck?
No, who's Bill Veeck?
Bill Veeck is really the godfather of American sports going beyond the pitch, going beyond itself. Veeck was known for just outlandish entertainment that had nothing to do with the sport. Probably his shining achievement was with the Chicago White Sox in the 70s. He had Disco Day at a doubleheader.
I like it.
50,000 fans showed up, bringing their disco records to destroy them on the field, right? Beer all night. Everybody comes out in the second, between the two games of the doubleheader. They throw the records on there, and a brawl breaks out. It turns into one of the greatest conflagrations in history of baseball. They can't even play the game because they destroyed the field afterwards. But Veeck knew he had his audience there.
Is that your goal?
That was my goal.
Okay.
And I think I've been tamed a little bit because it's hard to do here. Soccer, I've learned, is not, American sports, there's always a break. Once you start that 45 minutes here, you can't divert your attention. And then you only have 15 minutes at halftime. And so you got to run to the John, or you got to go get your little pie or whatever. And it's hard to put that entertainment in.
Rob, look at this pitch. Can you imagine destroying that pitch with loads of records? I mean,
Just once.
the groundsman would kill you.
It would. The groundsman has intimidated me. I'm afraid to go out there.
There's a lot of pricks in football, who don't, it's all about them. It's all about ego, it's narcissism. And yeah, Rob's got an ego, and Rob likes to be the centre of attention. But the biggest thing that Rob's got going for him is that he doesn't pretend to know about football, and he doesn't tell people about their own game. He's here to make the business side of it better.
This is something I find unique about English football. They are so concerned about keeping the visitors away from the home people. At home, we kind of mix and mingle more. But here you've got to keep everybody behind fencing and the like to keep hostility, I guess, from breaking out.
It's a commercial thing, but this is the best name for an away stand, I think,
in the
league.
history of the world.
The whiff away stand. And the company being whiff away. How's this happen?
I have to give Neil Peters, our manager, credit for this. He came to me one day, he says, I got an idea I think you're gonna like. And I said, what is it? He says, whiff away, which makes the most innovative system for urinals, or in your case, urinals, in the world is located here in High Wycombe. What could be different about a urinal? This one doesn't use water. All the environmentalists will be happy with this. And so here we are, and then we've got to thinking, this is a commercial opportunity for a whip away because they want to spread the gospel to all the other stadiums. What would be the best place for them to put up a sign? Who is it we wanted to take a piss on?
He's paying, well, he does pay me, but he's paying me to say it. I get on really well with him. He's easy to work for because he's very clear with what he wants. And I'm somebody who likes to do things and to get things built or to get things developed or progressed. So he doesn't give me mixed messages.
Do you want to see fireworks, guys?
Why wouldn't you want to see fireworks?
We need goals, is what the answer
Well,
is.
yeah, you need goals, but they're not mutually inconsistent. You can have goals or goals You can have fireworks that appeal to children who may not want to come out in the cold weather and watch 90 minutes of football, but certainly want to be there for the fireworks. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to want to come back because they're going to learn that they really like the sport.
He's tireless in his approach to supporting this club.
Hey ladies, isn't that our favourite pie? It's called?
We have pie, mash and liquor, best around.
Pie, mash and liquor. We don't get that in the States.
You need to come back more often then.
I think it all comes back to engagement and family. I mean, I went to that first game in October of '59 and I loved it. I stood in the West Stand. It's now a stand all seated, but I stood there and that was it. That was the defining moment. That was my team. Being an 11-year-old, going around collecting the autographs from the players when they were training. I think you just get a team and you stay with it. Hey guys, Richard,
Okay.
Matt,
Nigel, you all right?
hey there, Rosie. So this is the Leighton Orient Brain Trust, our coaching staff, and I think tonight we got one of the youngest front three we've ever had. Is that right, Richard?
That's absolutely correct.
Before the Italians, you remember them? Before they came, in the 20 years before, we averaged 3,500 to 4,500. We're averaging this year exactly, as of tonight, 8,444. So I think if we continue to put great products on the field, engage with the fans, we will build up. And as we said last night, we're looking down the road, and it may take as long as 10 years to move to a 17,000 stadium. We've got a stadium that we're selling out all the time, but we've got 5,000 new homes currently being built less than half a mile from our stadium. High class problem. So we're going through this big dilemma at the moment. Do we stay at our current ground at Brisbane Road, or do we move to a new site, ideally within the London borough of Waltham Forest? But right at the heart of it, we are focused on maintaining Leighton Orient as a community asset for the people of Waltham Forest.
Plymouth Argyle is England's most westerly club. In fact, if you keep going west from there, the next professional football club you'll find is in America.
And a coast that's been blessed, and inside of the sound lie the three Plymouth towns, where everyone's known as a Janner.
So Plymouth is a city that has a very long history. It's obviously very closely associated with the Royal Navy. It's a city from which the Pilgrim Fathers left in the early 17th century, and we've still got remnants of the Elizabethan and pre-Elizabethan architecture here. It's a kind of gritty, blue-collar city. On the other hand, its situation is fantastic.
It's a caring city. The people are really passionate about the city. They're very proud to come from Plymouth, and that shines through everywhere.
It's noisy. It's a little bit crowded. It generates a pretty good atmosphere down here. The bad news is that it's an old-fashioned football stadium, which means that our ability to do what fans in the 21st century rather than the 20th or 19th century want to do is limited.
You could call Plymouth Argyle the sleeping giants of English football, if you want to start a fight in a pub in Plymouth.
The great thing about English football is that you can go from the massive clubs at the top of the Premier League supported by people all over the world, all the way down to your local pub team. And you can see how your pub team can end up you know, the top of the English football pyramid. I think that that is fantastic. So I've spent tens of millions of pounds on this club in acquiring it and in investing in it. Any of those tens of millions of pounds could have gone into spending more on players, but we've decided that's not what we're going to do. We're going to build the long-term future of Plymouth Argyle, not gamble on short-term success. So my legacy at Argyle will be not where we are in the league, it'll be what I've left behind, and what I will have left behind will be a club that's not only managed to come up a couple of divisions in the league, but really has the backing, the platform to stay there and maybe progress beyond. And that to me is more important than buying a couple of seasons' success.
Simon cares so much. I think that the things that stand out for me is his passion for the people in the city and the surrounding areas. He's a very, very caring man. He gives every one of his employees a chance to develop and grow. And his heart is in Plymouth Argyle and the city and the location.
I had written to the prior owner of Leyton Orient about the potential of purchasing the club, and I was trying a case or had a motion of some sort in Boston, and Nigel called me and said, why don't you come meet and have breakfast one day, and we did. And literally, he remembers the story differently, but I remember it as sitting at breakfast at this hotel, and all of a sudden he gets a call from his guy in Texas and says, I don't need any more investors. Hey, Andrew, good to see you.
Good evening.
Hey.
Rob nearly bought a club called Yeovil. I said, Rob, do you realise how far Yeovil is from Heathrow? He said, yeah, it's not that far away. I said, it's about 3 hours away. Really? So I think I persuaded him not to do that.
And there's only so much destruction I can wreck at our place, you know? The people are entitled to a vacation. Pronounced Leicester Square? Yeah. All around there, you can't move. I mean, it's like this. So it took us an extra hour to get out here. And we went to see the Book of Mormon.
Oh,
have you seen it?
Yeah.
Well, it's good is a strong word. It's an interesting, funny, different. Let's go with hugely different than what I expected, you know?
Welcome to Orient Live here in E10 in the studio this evening. I'm delighted to be joined, of course, by Andrew Butler, but we've also got the Wycombe Wanderers owner, Rob Curry. Rob, thank you so much for joining us. Actually, forgot to mention, we've also got Nigel Travis on the line live from Boston. So thank you for joining us, Nigel.
Nigel,
welcome.
You have a hell of a club here, man. It's beautiful. We have walked the stadium. Your fans are terrific. I'm glad for you guys. You won the other night. Hopefully you got it out of your system before tonight.
And so what are some of the challenges that maybe come for not just running a football club, but both of you being based over in the States? What are the challenges maybe through COVID and just in general? What are the challenges?
I was asked that earlier today, and they said, how long would you own the club? And I said, the only thing that would cause me to sell is the travel.
Must be worth it to watch your Wycombe Wanderers.
It is. I love it. Let me say this. I was unprepared. I'm not a soccer football fan, or I was not. I was unprepared for the speed and the relative violence, which appeals to me in some ways. You know, the intensity and really the do-or-die nature of promotion and relegation. We were very successful in our first year. I always brag about this, after 135 years of getting promoted to the championship for the first time in the club's history. I've watched what Nigel and you guys have done with Leyton Orient, and it's not a miracle. It is, I think, a systematic approach to it, recognizing it's a business that has to pay for itself. You have to make good, hard decisions, and as much as we love all of our fans, sometimes you have to disappoint them a little bit so that at the end of the day you can give them what they want. I'll be right back. Don't let my fans beat me up. Huh?
Good man.
Nice hat. Thank you. I brought it over with me. I wear it all the time. Well, they got me walking up, and I got to walk down. I got to get to the other side. He gave him a yellow card for time wasting. Tonight's the night, brother. Blue me. There you go. Oh.
You need to just take your time, manager, protecting what he's.
Absolutely wrong, ref.
A substitute for Reno, the big centre half.
It should be another corner, but the referee blows his whistle, and it's a 0-0 draw, Brian.
That was a great play by both sides.
All right, back.
Well, my friend, this is not the call I wanted to make, but I can't thank you or your people enough for the hospitality. It's a brilliant night here in Leyton Orient, and the field was magnificent. Both teams played hard. One of us should have won the goddamn game.
I know, well, you know, a 0-0 draw is sometimes a good result in football. I know our American friends don't always understand it, but, you know, it's a long season. It's a tough season over Christmas. And as you say, everyone put 100%.
Yep.
Congratulations on a good game.
Well, thank you. And again, thanks to your guys, and your fellas played terrific. And I got a feeling that this season's got a lot of twists and turns ahead of it. And we'll be talking again frequently, I suspect.
1, 2, 3, 4.